welcome to part 3 of InDoc. And we're going to keep this emotion going. And one of the best ways we found to do that is writing a manifesto. So you'll kind of see manifestos everywhere, especially once you build one, right? It's like buying a red card, you'll see a red card everywhere. You just kind of see how powerful manifestos are, and every giant brand uses it. And it is basically a piece of writing that focuses on the limbic part of the brain. That's the most primal part that controls our feelings, our emotions, and ultimately, it's emotions that create behavior, identity, and the emotions around it, which tell us what to do and how to behave in this world. So, it does some pretty incredible things for the brain of the buyer and therefore our business. It will inspire and motivate individuals by presenting the strong vision of what we're doing here, where we're going. It's a line in the sand, right? That shows this is who we are, this is what we stand for. It's often used to really show what our fight is, what we're fighting for, what we're fighting against. It will help shape and communicate the brand identity. We spent a lot of time focusing on the brand identity. This is where to take all of the pieces we've been working on and really just condensing and shaping and molding it into one piece of writing that rallies them on the big idea. And it's going to help shape the behavior because again, they're coming into a new ecosystem. We give them a frame of orientation. We tell them the story of like why this thing exists. Now this manifesto is to like really rally them to say like, well, this is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is who we are. This is our collective identity. This is who we are, what we do, what we don't do, who we're never going to be, where we're going and how to get there. Right. Sounds like a lot. And it can be for sure. Manifestos can take a while. That's why we say it's a living, breathing document that evolves as you and your tribe grows. Keep it real, keep it raw, and just keep it updated, right? Just keep it going. And so the process. There are a few rules. Manifestos are meant to evoke emotion. Make sure it's emotional. Don't be soft with it. If anything, be more prolific. Manifestos draw a line in the sand. So that is like, well, what do we stand for? We don't want to be like, oh, just so nice about it. It's like, this is what we're standing for. You can't have inclusion without exclusion. So don't be afraid to exclude. It's a tribe brand. You're focusing on your core group of people. Don't be afraid to upset the rest. Create the vision for a new world. So that is a big part of it too. We're trying to bring something new into the world. We're creators, right? And so what is that vision? That's a big part of a tribe leader is you have the vision for this thing that you're creating. A lot of people don't have vision. We want to, people follow vision. And so we want to say like, basically imagine there's a bunch of people who are getting the result that you promise. What would the world look like, right? It would probably be a better place, or at least for your people. A manifesto defines who we are and what we do. That's a big part of it. We want to say we are tribe leaders. This is what tribe leaders do, right? We are over 40 alphas. This is what an over 40 alpha does. This is what we don't do. We want to, a manifesto demonizes others, creating inclusion through exclusion. Like I mentioned with the draw a line in the sand, we want to be prolific. We don't need to go out and say like, oh, F you guys, you're not a part of this. But we want to just be the more we can exclude the wrong people, the more the right people will feel included by the message. So again, it's just pick a fight, right? Have an enemy, really show like what are we doing here? And then of course, manifestos have a call into action. You'll see pretty much at the end of all manifestos, even if it's just like that one liner, like we talk about, a signature slogan, a rally cry, then it's like, what are we doing? Like, let's go, let's get it done. Build the new America. We are the American pioneer, whatever Levi's is. But so those are Dems to rules, basically, and that kind of helps create the guardrails for this piece of writing. So how it gets broken down is basically these steps right here. It's very loose, but we're trying to create as tight a framework so that it's very easy for you to take the pieces of the tribe brand identity framework and put it in. So the big idea, what are we really doing here at a grand level? This is the point of trying to take everything that you've done so far and really say like, this is the big idea. This is what we're trying to do here. So writing that down. And it's good to like write these pieces down and then start to flush it out. So who we are, what is your new identity, right? That's a big piece. What we value, knowing what your core value is, right? Because a core value of freedom is going to write much different than a core value of innocence, or safety. What we believe, it's good to write down some of your beliefs from your tribe Bible and put them in here just so you can continually look back, because we want to have them in here. We want to say, this is who we are. As tribe leaders, we believe in building for belonging and transformation over transaction, right? These are the things that we need to instill. This is where we instill the behavior. The fight, right? What are we fighting for? What are we fighting against? We're fighting for social isolation. Like, that's a pandemic. We're in an epidemic of loneliness. That's a huge thing. Like, people are, it's equivalent to like 15 years off your life. It's worse than smoking, apparently, right? And so that's our fight. You want to have something you're fighting for. With funk, sarcopenia, we have to fight that every day because that's the natural diminishing of body strength and muscle as we age. We have to fight that every day. Then what do we do as this new identity? So this is where you have your rules, rituals, and virtues that we mapped out, right? And you don't need to have them all. You just want to create some guardrails and just really looking for some emotional tone. So, with funk, it's like we don't drink alcohol, we don't make excuses, we don't ask for permission. Like, you just want to kind of have some cool one-liners. Like, you want it to hit. And then what do we not do? So what do we avoid and who are we not? This is kind of two parts. Like, it's really good to say, this is who we are not and who we will never be. That always feels cool. But also, like, the things we need to avoid, because yeah, maybe if there's like, we have to avoid estrogenic foods, that's a big part of, becoming an over 40 alpha. And so sometimes it's needed, sometimes it's not. I'm just trying to put the pieces in here that we've already kind of thought about, and then making it easier to create the one lines and then move the one lines around until it is this hard hitting document. And then a call to action. There has to be a call to action at the end of it, or else it just kind of like falls flat. It like has to kind of like tee up to this thing. Let's go and do. And so that's pretty much it for the process. But I'll show you some examples of how it comes together because it can be tough. So I showed you, this is how I spent weeks building the Tribe Leader Manifesto. I actually rewrote the Tribe Leader Manifesto probably 4 times over the past year. But you can see I wrote out all of the pieces. The big idea, we can build a lifestyle business that pays out daily while fighting social isolation by creating tribe brands with a tribe experience. Who we are, we're tribe leaders. What we value freedom. What we believe that the future belongs to those who can unify strangers on the internet. Vision of the future, right? The fight, what we believe, what we do not do. And so this really helps. And so you can see elements for the tribe Bible to use. This is good to just write out at the beginning. That way you just kind of have pieces and the ideas. This is the V1, the like loose notes. And then Tribe Leader Manifesto, right? So this is the completed version that I would have right below it as it starts coming together, right? Comes in pretty strong. There's not a lot of strong leaders left anymore. Boom, right? We used to have great people who stood up and stood for something, pushed us to be better as a collective. So you can see it's just trying to get this emotion. People are craving something deeper, craving to belong to something greater. We really want short lines. I feel like most manifestos have very short, punchy one-liners. They're not run-on sentences. They're quick. They're emotional. They're to the point. So you can see once I had that here, but you can see what happened below, right? So below the completed manifestos are usually lots of notes that get tossed around. So you can see tribe leaders build for what matters most, each other. Humans biologically have weak defenses, but we've always had each other. We're still wired this way. This is what I was thinking about leading with. Clearly didn't make the cut. Therefore, we don't just build a dope product, we build purpose. Could be cool. I don't think I used it. We don't just create, we rally a group of like-minded people. Don't think I use it, right? You can just see there's a lot of little pieces that I would create, like, oh, that's a tight little section. Maybe that could work. I would just be writing, like, you could tell the manifesto really comes into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 mini sections, and together it like really tees up the whole thing and plays together really nicely with one coherent thought. Not a lot of strong leaders left. We're building the leaders who can really like change the fabric of the world and create meaning and belonging while we do it. So this is obviously where I would start. Like, you would have all of the pieces right here, but then you're just going to have a bunch of random notes, random lines. And so again, this is a very malleable process. It's gonna take a minute. So I even had one-liners to use, more different kinds of notes. So not worrying about whose grass is greener, but making our grass the didn't finish the sentence, didn't make the cut, you know? So there's going to be a mess of notes. It's a very creative process. And it's not something to take lightly. It's something that you definitely want to be proud of because it's something that you're going to want to kind of splash around everywhere. With Funk, then we turned this into a PDF and we turned it into a video. And it's a big part of our indoctrination and it's very effective. We did it again with the KWA. You know, I just wrote up something, didn't nearly take as long, didn't put a lot into it. You know, it was still kind of new, pasted it up just as like a text thing into a PDF. And then you could just see so many people just signing off on it, just signing off on like, great manifesto, I'm bought in, I'm a kettlebell warrior, right? And so it is effective. You can see with Midlife Meathead, did kind of the same thing, you know, just like some bullet points of what we're doing here. No place left in the world for weak men who chase comforts, who cave into their vices and addictions, who settle for handouts they've been given, right? As midlife meatheads, right? So that's a big thing. It's just, what is the identity? What do we expect for them? We still hold the belief that a man should be strong, strong in body, strong in mind, strong in character. You know, for that, what do we have to do? We hold ourselves to higher standards. Not the standard society set for us, but the one we set for ourselves. We must challenge ourselves. We must surround ourselves with those who hold us to the fire. A big part of this is we want them to join the community for this challenge, not just buy a PDF and leave. So, big part of that is we want to nudge them into joining the community, surrounding ourselves with other A players. We don't shy away from hard shit. We charge right into it, right? We don't coddle, we don't console, we don't make excuses. So again, he is the rebel archetype. He's very loud, prolific. He swears. He, you know, um, and so we have to use that. That's a big part of who he is, and so we amplify that. It's a big part of who he attracts. So we amplify that together. You know, it's a big, strong brotherhood energy this way. And so I also have a link to this G Drive right here where you can see 10 other manifestos. You can see the Jeeps manifesto, the Funnel Hackers manifesto. I guess I have two for the Funnel Hackers. Let's delete one. The Expert Enough manifesto. Rework is a cool one. I've always loved this one. Planning is guessing. ASAP is poison. I love this one. Fire the workaholics, emulate drug dealers. That's a hot belief. The Middle Finger Project, she has a good one. Dan Martell, he has a good one. And the Tribe Leader Manifesto, this is the old one, but you can just kind of see how things evolve. And Lady Boss, of course. So you can just start to get inspiration and you can see how they're formed. You can see there's no laws with this stuff. It can be short and just a couple of one sentences. Lady Boss is a little bit longer. Dan's and Passive and Expert Enough, they're just very short. Stop complaining, do something. What if you can retire? Life begins at the edge of your comfort zone, things like that. So again, we're just looking for emotion. We're looking to have just a piece of writing that really says, this is who we are as this identity, this is what we do, and then call them into action. So that's the manifesto. Once you build that, then you can design it, obviously, like this. You can turn it into a video, you can splash it around, you can turn it into screensavers, you can take pieces of it and turn them into emails. There's a lot you can do once you have it. So this might take a while. You'll probably rewrite it a bunch of different times, but just get something up and then continually optimize what you have. But let's get that. That's going to be part 3. That's going to be the third part of our in-doc, and it's going to be email 3. So let's get that done. We'll see you in the next. Let's go.